Welcome to Things You Might Ought to Know for Tuesday, the 5th of November, 2024. My name is Jay Cleveland Payne. I'm going to give you some of the fun stuff every single weekday morning here for the conversation. This is something to take a step away from the news. And even though the news today, we focus on a lot of things that wasn't all that serious as we have the seriousness of the election all day today. We do some funner things every single day to kind of shake that cobwebs off to what's going on. And birthdays are the funnest of the fun stuff. Also, we'll have some things in history and a fun celebration on the day. I promise it will be fun. So stick around for that. First, the birthdays. Starting off with that beautiful lady right there, the momager or the monster mager, if you will, the person who brought us Kardashians to life, to the scariest fashion of being the more important people in the universes, putting life on random basketball players who weren't very good, and Olympic champions who are no longer men. Kris Jenner, who is 69 years old on the day. And you know what? She's still making it work. She's still getting things done. She's still managing her Kardashians and, just being Kris Jenner, doing things, popping up here and there in her own right. It's having her own say going forward as a very, very staunch business person. Now, Kris Jenner is only a Jenner because she married a Bruce Jenner, and that's a whole nother thing. But of course, marrying Robert Kardashian, one of the more famous of, let's call them, for lack of a better word, sleazy type of lawyers, the guy that got OJ off. Yes, that guy. And because he made his fame from there, and so many people made fame from that one, the daughters of said Spawn became famous because one daughter made a sex tape, and then the mom, basically, you know, exploited that for all she could. But we're giving love for her for doing what she can, which is all she can. Kris Jenner, who's 69 years old on the day. Also, wishes going out to birthday twins. I didn't know that until I actually looked at it right there. Both Kevin Jonas and Jason Kelce are 37 years old. Kevin Jonas may not quite look 37. Jason Kelce may look like he's more like 47. But hey, we're giving them love. Jason Kelce, the former football player for the Eagles, the older brother of that guy who's dating Taylor Swift. And Kevin Jonas, one of the Jonas brothers. I believe Kevin is the oldest, because I don't know what to do. And he is the one that just got divorced, I think. So I'm going to stop putting my foot in my mouth and go with that one. Since one of them just got divorced, one just got married, the other one's just happy to be a Jonas. But we're talking about Jenner, Jonas, and Kelce today. Happy birthday to those three people in our triad of birthdays. Triad of History hits today. We're sticking with elections because election season. In 1996, voters returned President Bill Clinton to the White House for a second term. That button might work. He defeated a majority leader of the Senate, Bob Dole, that year. A study showed in 1998, excuse me, this is presidential, but not quite. Study showed a strong genetic evidence in 1998 that Thomas Jefferson fathered at least one child by his slave, Sally Hemings. Sally Hemings. So there is a lineage of black children or children of African descent, of slave descent from Thomas Jefferson that were proved at least from one slave, Sally Hemings, on this day. And in 2015, the word binge watch became the word of the year by the Collins Dictionary. That's something right now that seems like it's always been there, but it's only been since around 2015 since we had the revolution that is a Netflix sort of world where you can get all episodes of something brand new in a season. Of course, obviously, back in the past, you can get a DVD or videotape, a compilation of something and watch it all at once. But watching something brand new was something brand newish in the middle 10s. So we have that to speak for. New word to learn from 10 years ago was binge watch. New word to learn today, which is a new word, but it's a word that may be newer to you or newer to use in sentence, is steep. Although I think you know this one. Having a sharp inclination, as in hikers found the trail challenging due to its steep ascent, which required careful navigation and extra effort. I don't think you'll have trouble using this one in a sentence. I don't think you'll have any trouble keeping this one in your mind. This one is not off the beaten path. This one is steep. So having a sharp inclination, something that is a rise and it's hard to walk up to, if you will, is something that you'll say is steep. Use this word carefully or not carefully. Your power is your choice. And find more words that we talk about to help people learn more words at the Big Words Project, bigwordsproject.com. Today's affirmation: I choose to rise above negative feelings and discard them. This will be a good one for today. It improves your mental health. That's what it hopes to do. Choosing to rise above those negative feelings and significantly improve your mental health by reducing stress, anxiety, and depression, leading to a more positive and balanced mental state. On a day like today, where people will have sort of their danders up and their anxiety risen, as they're waiting for results for the election. This is a big deal. This is the day where you may not need to remind yourself that you are going to rise above negative feelings and discard them, especially if it looks like your candidates, whether it's local or national, are not quite doing as well as they should be, and you're fearful for what could happen. In most cases, nothing really different happens, nothing really changes. But if you're worried about this stuff, remember, you, you, yes, you can rise above and choose to rise above the negative feelings and discard them, put them to the wayside. Fun day for the day, celebration for the day, and we may need plenty of these days. Donut Day. Today is Doughnut Appreciation Day. If you don't appreciate donuts, there may be something wrong with your soul. History disputes the origin of donuts. One theory suggests that Dutch settlers brought donuts to North America, much like they brought other dishes and other desserts to here. And they received credit for such desserts as apple pie, cream pie, and cobbler. But donut shapes are varied as their history. What was the original donut? Was it round? Was it like a Longfellow? If so, American Gregory Hansen laid claim to inventing that ring-shaped donut in 1847 while working aboard a lime trading ship. Only 16 at the time, Gregory claims he punched a hole in the center of a dough with the ship's tin pepper box. Later, he taught the technique to his mother, and the donuts with the holes was born, if you believe that tale. What we do not have to dispute is the fact that donuts exist. They're awesome. Get some donuts today because you may need more than a few donuts while you're reciting to yourself that you can negate negative feelings. You can also negate negative feelings by eating donuts on this election day. One more hit that's election focused is our conversation about our actual sponsor for today. And this is about elections or people getting elected. It is a book I have written, I have produced, I have published called the Now What Network Manifesto. This is a book that promotes the Now What Network at nowwhat.network. The subtitle, Using Citizen Power to Make Your Vote and Voice Actually Count in National Politics. Why did I write this book? Well, I've had this project out for over 2 years called the Now What Network, and it is a something that came about towards the wrapping up of the election cycle, the midterm election cycle, where some candidates that were on the ballot here locally weren't all that thrilled with, and so it was just sort of a what do we do to make sure the next election is a little bit better. And I came up with this, and it's just basic reminders, things to go to council meetings, make sure you're reading about stuff, do actual real research in your research, things like that. So we turned it into for this cycle because things were so heated and so contested. And no matter who wins, it's basically a 50-50 election. Who wins on a national level, someone's going to be disappointed. If you're disappointed, these are some ways that you can actually stay engaged with the policy and the politics of people who win and try to make sure they are doing what they said. If they're doing what they said, it's going to be worse for you. Convince them that they can change their minds. 10 tactics for you to stay engaged in the political actions that any human can do. It doesn't take money, it takes a little time, a little effort, actually a lot of effort, if you will, but it's effort that's well spent. It's not just, days and days combing through marketing and things like that. You can do it from your bedroom, do it from your living room, do it at your computer, take a few moments at work and just do some research on your own, on your phone, things like that. You'll find all 10 tactics in this book on Amazon and Kindle. And of course, go to the Now What Network website and you can follow along for interpretive, we're just not real, to keep going and get more details, more facts, and more things about candidates going forward. We will not push any candidate, particularly in anything here in this book or at Now What Network. We'll talk about how things may be going for you. Just asking, so how are things going? Great, not so great, not so great. Make sure you're doing these things. That's the purpose of this book, purpose of this platform, and one of my main purposes in life to kind of dispel some of the nonsense and get more education, more educated people, more people with knowledge in the world. Quick moment for you to engage with us as well. We ask you to like, share, and subscribe to the work we do. Now, this work today Probably not one of the better ones, just because we opened up the show with some internet things. I saw the little internet trigger well. Probably have some audio issues for the birthdays, both the birthdays. So it's not one of the best produced shows going forward. It streams live via a streaming platform, so what we get in the stream, we get. But like what we produce for both, things you might ought to know, which I actually have the wrong background on there, so I was not paying attention. It should look like that. Aha. So, for things you might ought to know, these are the fun stuff, the birthdays, the history lessons, and the celebration, Donuts Day. And also for things we do producing for the newsy stuff all over this channel, all over this platform, whether you're watching us on the Facebook, on the X, or on the YouTube. Like, share, and subscribe what we're doing so that we get the proof. We know what you're liking, we know what's good and what's not so good. We get the chance to get more people to engage with us and see us when we share good stuff with them. And if you subscribe, we pop up in your feed. When notifications pop up, you'll see when we're live. You'll see when we're out there putting new stuff out there, and you can engage with what's going on. Of course, we also want you to stop by our website. This is conversationproject.com. Follow us on our feeds on Facebook, on X, and on Threads so you can vote up the stories for things you might not have heard, and just engage as engagement works for you. We're done. It's still Tuesday, November the 5th, as I say these words in 2024. So there's a full day of election going forward. It is 6:15 Central Time. Central Time. It's here in Arkansas at Central Time. So it's 6:15 in the morning. Polls will close somewhere around 7:30, 8 o'clock, starting on the East Coast. So you'll start seeing the little chyrons and CNN and MSNBC, Fox projecting things. Projections don't really work as well as they did back in the day, and you can kind of figure it out. But with these battleground states, as we're looking at 7 states that are essentially the ones that are big enough that may go either way and have enough votes to swing this thing to 270 for the right person, we shall see. Remember, it's a chance to tie. You could get 269. That's possible. So we'll see if that happens. That would be a hoot. And then we'll see who actually selects our president. But right now, one thing to remember is the popular vote doesn't matter. It's an indicator. It's a bellwether. It tells you kind of the temperature of what's going on. But it's all about the Electoral College, who has a terrible, terrible football team. But hey, the math Olympics team is great, I guess. I'm done. Out of puns. Going to be a long, tiring day for all of us today. So stay engaged, stay hopeful, stay strong, stay with us. More stuff like this, fun stuff, and more, and new stuff happening on tomorrow.